Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the layout. Welcome back to the channel. I'm not actually at the layout currently. Hey, gonna bring you some, hopefully some pretty cool stuff this week. There was a train show up in Cleveland, where my brother lives, where the layout is. And well, I think he got his income tax check here in the last week or two. So I think the federal government subsidized the rolling stock roster of the layout a little bit this week. So hoping to get some of those new items that he has now onto the layout so you guys can see them. Some pretty neat stuff. Pretty excited about what we'll be able to do with it. Hey, I actually, well, I lost more than I won. There was an auction, well, it was a couple weeks ago, and there was some really nice Atlas units in this estate sale. Unfortunately, bidding got out of hand on the majority of them. You know, I kind of go in with what I feel is fair, and if I can get it with the buyer's fee for below what I feel is a fair number, you know, I'll put in my bids and cross my fingers and get lucky. You never know. Well, this particular auction had some really cool Atlas stuff. It's all Atlas Master, so you know, TMCC, what Lionel calls Odyssey. These are essentially ERR boards. So Atlas calls it EOB is their cruise control function, but nonetheless, they all operate really nicely. And the detail is, I won't say unrivaled, but considering that these are models from 10 to 15 years ago, they're really nice stuff. Anyway, there were several pieces that I wanted, that I would have liked to have added to the layout, but only came away with one of them. But it's gonna be a pretty nice addition because it's gonna fill in some gaps, and it's gonna give me some flexibility on another front. So why don't I get into it really quick here? This shouldn't be a really long layout, or I'm sorry, a really long video, because it's only this one piece. I trying to coerce my brother into sending me a little bit of a video on the stuff that he got, so that I can get it up on the layout for you guys to see. His desire to produce and create video content is maybe not the primary focus of his efforts. Tell you what, as expected, we always got the packing peanuts. This one came from Stout Auctions, which, I'll be honest with you, I usually find the stuff at Stout to be pretty nice stuff. I bought several pieces from the Stout Auctions. I tend to find, from the perspective of a buyer, that the prices just seem to be a lot higher for whatever reason. Maybe it's because Stout has a really good reputation. Maybe it's because they're selective about what they market and resell. People feel more comfortable putting in bids. Their stuff just seems to bring the most money. So from a buyer's perspective, the time I spend on an auction, when it's through that auction house, I know that I'm gonna be coming away with less than I really want, because the prices are always just through the roof. And in this particular auction, the prices on a lot of this stuff just went through the roof. So came away with one though. Like I said, we got an Atlas Master unit. So this is gonna be a powered unit with TMCC and cruise control. Now, kind of an interesting scenario, and I'll walk you through what my thinking was on this one when I bought it. The primary reason I got it is because it's gonna allow me to kind of bridge the gap between some MTH and current Atlas product that I have. From the pictures, this thing looked like it was going to be in really excellent condition, and I'll tell you, the box is in like new condition. Stand up here for a second. So I got my traction tires, got my, you know, if you guys know these Atlases, got the old Atlas battery, which is still in this little baggie, never been used. You know, the battery is primarily if you're running these in conventional. It basically keeps the sound from cutting out if you hit a dead spot in the track, or in conventional mode. I'm gonna pull this thing out because I don't know if this thing's ever been out of the box, to be honest with you, because it is, Atlas packaging is super tight. But they have these holes on the back. There goes my battery. So you can kind of get it started. A little push from the back. Pretty excited about this one. Really unique piece. Come on, golly. Okay, here it comes. All right, jeez. Super heavy as all these Atlases are. All right, finally got it. Okay. Where there's a will, there's a way. Let's get it out of the... Okay, well, I don't see any foams. Okay, no. So there was a loose piece of foam that came out first, so they had just pulled that out, apparently. That's for the handrails. So on this side, the handrail foam's missing, but it looks like they're all present. But here this guy is. You know, I'm gonna grab a piece of track. I'll set it on the track here in case the wheels are dirty, which they probably are. Yeah, this thing's nice. So pretty cool, pretty unique piece. This is a GP60 B unit. Obviously, these guys all went to the Santa Fe. They're the only ones that got these cabless boosters. I'm not gonna pull all the styrofoams out of it because even the ones between the trucks are in there. Super cool. Now there was actually two powered A units, another powered B unit dummy, or I'm sorry, another powered B unit and a dummy B unit. So there was a grand total of 6 of these. And I tried to buy them all. This is the only one I came away with. So here's what I'm gonna do with this one. It's kind of weird to me that they marketed these, they sold these dummies individually when there was powered units to pair them up with, but whatever, it's all good. So I've got a Santa Fe GP60M MTH Premier Protosound 2. Obviously cannot run a Protosound 2 and a TMCC unit in consist. It's one or the other. So at a train show about 1.5 years ago, I got an Atlas Rio Grande GP60 A unit. Rio Grande only had A units. It's a dummy. And I've sold off most of my dummies. I don't really use dummies a whole lot. Again, I've said it before, because our layout has quite a bit of grade on it, and dummies are more, they for what you pick up in visual, you know, appearance, that there's a multiple unit consist going through. Whenever we run a dummy, I'm pretty much committing myself to a triple header, unless I'm running a pretty short train, just because the weight of that dummy puts a lot of strain on the locomotive that's doing all the work. So my plan is to simply do a shell swap. This guy does have headlights, front and rear, and try to get this off here. I'm not sure if it has marker lights or not. What I plan on doing, geez, tell you. It's like Atlas packages their stuff to be removed from the packaging one time and then you're done. Like, everything's so delicate on these guys, but they're such high detail. I love Atlas Master product. It's really does look the part. Gosh, taking this stuff out. All right, so there's no marker lights on this guy, which is a bummer, but not to be unexpected. But in any case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a shell swap with this one. I'm just gonna take the shell off of it. Actually, it'll actually be an internal swap, because if you know, these Atlas is a little bit different than like an MTH, where the shell is attached to the chassis. And in these Atlas Master Series, the chassis and lower portion of the frame are all die cast, which is why they're all so heavy, which is why they can pull so good, pull so much. So the shell will come off, but unfortunately it's gonna leave the Santa Fe chassis and lower frame, which is red, behind. So I'm gonna have to just take all the electronics out of this one and move them over to the Rio Grande GP60, which is it's a pretty good project. Not necessarily one that I'm looking forward to per se, but it's not gonna be something that's gonna be terribly difficult, just time consuming. I'll have to move the couplers over, so we have electro couplers on the GP60, but when I'm done, I'll have a powered GP60, which will be a nice addition. You know, being able to use that on a powered level will be really cool. And then this will become a dummy that I can run with my MTH unit. And you know, maybe down the road, I'll be able to find another MTH GP60, or I've got some other Santa Fe stuff that I can run with that GP60 that's era correct. So I'll be able to run this guy as a B unit, cabless B unit with my A unit. It'll look the part, and I'll pick up a powered GP60 to boot. So pretty happy about this. This thing looks like it's in brand new condition. I can tell you right now, it has never been run. The original, if you've ever seen these things from the factory with Atlas, they really package them up well. So the original styrofoams that are kind of locking the trucks in place are present. And there's an adhesive on the back side of these. So once you get them out once, you're never putting them back in. This has never been run. There's no marks on the wheels, no marks on the rollers. I assure you, this has never seen any track time. Which is awesome. I don't question people that buy this stuff to collect it. I understand it's cool to have a train collection. I can't own any. Me personally, I can't own something without having the intention of running it. You know, if the layout was in my house, I'd run them a lot more, but it's at my brother's house. But whenever I go up to my brother's, I'm taking 2 to 4 locomotives with me, and I run them the whole time I'm there. And I run them through, change them up. This thing is absolutely gorgeous, and I just think it's so unique. It's such an interesting unit. You would think that the dynamic braking and all this would be back here where it would normally be found on a GP60, and then the front end of the locomotive would just, basically be nothing. But for whatever reason, when they designed these, they put all the dynamic braking equipment up front. And maybe that's to distribute the weight a little bit better, I'm not sure. Maybe somebody, if you know why the reason for that was, chime in. Because on the A units, the dynamic braking, it's back here in the middle of the long hood, which is, consistent with just about every Jeep ever made. But in any case, just wanted to get this one out of the box, see it myself for the first time. I've had it here for a couple days. I was supposed to have another locomotive today, that I made a trade, and that has not yet come to fruition. So I was kind of holding off, hoping I could show both of the new additions. But in any case, thought I'd get this one out of the box, share it with you guys, so that I could also start swapping everything over. Should be a good time. The nice thing about the Lionel electronics, it's not quite as intricate in there as it would be with an MTH, well, specifically an MTH PS2. You don't have to worry about 3-2 switches and stuff like that. I will have to move over the run program switch and a couple other switches, but the Rio Grande GP60 will have all those cutouts and you know, screw bosses in the right spot. It'll just be literally a direct swap. I think the GP60 has marker lights, so I'm not going to have marker light functionality. I don't think. I have to open up that GP60. I've never opened it up. Never had any reason to. So I don't know if the marker light connections exist. Usually Atlas has some sub boards in the front and rear. They take the power from the main board, and then the marker lights pull their signal off that sub board. So until I have this stuff opened up, I won't know if that's there. If I don't have marker lights on the GP60, the Rio Grande, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. You know, as the railroads evolved in the 80s going into the 90s, marker lights became less and less common in favor of ditch lights. You know, marker lights and Mars lights kind of went by the wayside in favor of ditch lights. So in either case. Well, alrighty guys, well, it's a pretty short one. I hope to get up to the layout this coming weekend and run some of this new stuff. Give you guys a look at some of the new product that my brother got. I've seen some pictures. Most of the stuff, all the stuff was in boxes, so haven't had a chance to see that. Working on another box car, weathering up another box car. I'll be done with that tonight. Get that on the layout. I went the route of crusty, so she's a pretty crusty one. So I'll put a trigger alert on the video for anybody that's against heavily weathered box cars, because this one's gonna get your blood boiling if that's the case. Hey, but in any case, beautiful day here in Central Ohio. A little chilly. It was in the upper 30s today, but I'm looking out my front picture window and got a pond right out in front of me. Got some mallard ducks swimming around in there right now, and there's not a cloud in the sky. So beautiful, beautiful day. The buds are still on all the trees, waiting for some leaves to show up. Weather's supposed to warm up. We got a cold spell the last few days, but weather's gonna be warming up. So train season is upon us. Time to have a little bit of fun. Hey, I appreciate everybody coming by and spending a few minutes with me. I hope you guys had a great weekend so far, and I hope the week coming up treats you better than expected. Hey, happy railroading, everybody, and thanks for joining us here at the Lake Erie Midwestern.